Hello, everybody. It's Thursday. Welcome to Empower Yourself TV, our weekly live on YouTube. where we are doing our part in supporting you guys take action towards optimal functioning and well being. I'm Sonia White.
Joy.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. If you are tuning in regularly to watch us. So, today we're going to talk about we want to beat the drum of cleansing. And we're so passionate about it. And I think this came out of a conversation Joy and I have been having during this week. I had an eventful week. And I was a little out of my element. And I am proud of myself. I want to say I wasn't 100%, but I would say probably probably 90. Because normally, if I'm out of my natural environment, I am tempted to go back to a lot of, not to meat and that stuff, but go back to a lot of the sugars and the starches, because that's my weakness. And I have to say, I deserve a pat.
You
Because it's
do.
when you start on this journey, the journey towards change, it's transitioning and it takes time because you got to think about it. It's years of overriding the habits and the patterns and the smells and just the senses that is used to a certain thing that is driving you back to the old way of doing things. And I have to say, I must say it's got to be part of the cleansing, the lifestyle, because a lot of the stuff I'm finding, and I was saying to Joy, that I've lost my appetite for is like the deeper I go, is the more I want to go. The same for you too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feel the same way. It's like you're desiring more of the thing that you never thought you could stick to that was boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that this week and I just wanted to talk about, and I didn't get an opportunity to do my cleansing the normal, I'm used to doing my enemas and stuff, so I didn't do one. Believe you me, I didn't. I was a little, not a little. I think I was constipated, or I didn't drink as much water. I wasn't having as much high water content fruits. It's kind of hard. So we're here to say we're on the journey with you guys. We haven't arrived. There's no destination. Like we have said before, it's always one step forward, two back. Eventually, you're going to make more steps forward and less back.
Hey, Sean the guide. He just chimed in. Thanks for the support, cuz.
Yeah. So we're going to cover. You want to do anything or just?
I'm just gonna chime in, and then I mean, you can go ahead and
Okay.
start.
I was thinking about how crucial it is to cleanse, how necessary. I was in a conversation with a relative of mine, and she mentioned the fact that I was, what's the word? What's the word I said? Excessive or
Oh yeah, you're obsessive. She said.
yeah, extreme was the
Extreme.
word. And here am I thinking. I mean, with all, she didn't mean anything. It's just that people usually make a comment like that because they don't feel that they are able to do something like that. And that's the lie. We can't do anything we set our mind to do. One of the reasons why we don't accomplish it is because it's not high on our list of values. When health become number one on your list, on your value system, you'll make the change. So when you aren't making the change, is that it is not as important to you as other things are. That's just simple. And you can see it when, and part of the reason why I say that is that if you are passionate about cars,
Mm-hmm.
and that's high on your list of priorities, everywhere you go, that's all you see,
Mm-hmm.
which means that everything else you tune out.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where, like when
You
you're,
in a bubble.
yeah, you're in a bubble. It's like women who are pregnant and they can speak to that. You never notice people or women who are pregnant before and suddenly are pregnant. It's like the world is pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's the same thing. We're on the track of health and well being. So now when I see people, that's what I'm thinking about. How is that thing that's going to hurt them? You know, what's the long term effects? And I want to help. So the same thing for you guys. When lifestyle, whether it's exercise, whether it's food, whether it's detoxification, when that is high on your list of priorities, you'll get it done. If somebody said they can't do it, it means that it's not high on their list of priorities. And I'm a testament to that. So, anyway, I am going to enjoy, we're going to talk about all, I think we're, so, anyway, to my point of being extreme. And I was sitting there, I didn't respond, and I was sitting there thinking, when you have lost your dignity, where somebody has to take care of you and wipe your butt because of illness, sickness, and disease, when you're unable to walk, to function, when the organs are shut down, that is extreme. When you cannot go through a day without being on medication, that is extreme. So I think about all of those. You know, it's like we have subconsciously or unconsciously. So we are blinded to what exactly we're doing to ourselves and we accept it as normal. It's not normal. So for me, when I was thinking about extreme, the fact that I have made a decision and I want, Joy and I will want to help people to also change their lives as far as well being, as far as, you know, healthful living. We have made a choice to do that and we want other people to do that. I'm like saying, would you rather, it's not, you know, she wasn't consciously thinking, would you rather see me continue along the path? Because whether we like it or not, these issues that we start to feel in our bodies, it's starting younger now. But on an average, it usually starts about 40. So if you start to have elevated numbers in 40 and you have not changed something, it's not going to get better. It's progressively going to get worse. If you lose one eye because of your lifestyle, rest assured you're probably going to lose the second eye. If your mobility is slow as you age, it's going to get slower. So
Because the waist is
it's
just
the build
building.
up.
It's
Yeah.
building, and it's on that little nerve there, you know.
The
So,
toxicity is a lot. So we were talking today and yesterday, and I was saying, if I were to sit and think about all the different toxicity, avenues of toxicity we take in, it's crazy. It's the food.
you pass
We
the stress
know,
yourself.
yeah, the
Yeah,
process,
food.
we have to give up the process because it keeps us inflamed and keep us in ill health. We're not only ingesting the food, try to stay away from the process. It's not just the food, it's what we're putting on our bodies. I was thinking today when I was in the bathroom, I'm putting on, because now I've totally like switched, very mindful of what goes on my skin as the largest organs with so many pores. We have the perfume on, we have the lotion on, we have all these different sprays.
You
We have
got your detergent.
the detergent, the toothpaste, the underarm, the
What's
roll on,
the fabric sheets
the
that
fabric
goes in
softeners.
softeners,
It's the nail polish, the
the makeup.
not all the makeup. It's the alcohol. It's the meds.
Yeah,
It's
like the
the
Tylenol, ibuprofen,
It's the
All that residue from that.
it's the what for
Some
pregnancy again?
prenatals.
N-
Oh, what?
Um, when you don't want to get pregnant.
Oh, birth control
Birth
pills.
control. It's the like I highlight my hair. I was thinking, man, the hair is distant from it, but it's still a cell. So when I put that chemical on my hair, which I'm weaning myself off, is it goes into my hair, which is a cell, and all of
Into the
that
brain.
goes into your bloodstream. It goes
Your
where it,
brain.
and then to think of all our organs being overloaded with that toxin and you're not cleansing. Come on, man. That is something we don't have control over a lot of it.
Like the air. Like we don't have,
Yeah,
yeah, we
we're
don't have
not the
control of the
environmental stuff. We're
environment
not
stuff.
growing our food, and even if we are, there's a lot of toxins now because they're dumping so much in the earth. So there's no way of escaping. Outside of you trying to handle what's in your control, which is probably most of it, which is what we're here saying, cut back on a lot of that stuff. Find an alternative, find a substitute. Like me, I don't use perfume no more. I basically make my own, or
You do like your
the
own stuff.
shade. I just
I'm
use the
lazy.
stuff.
I buy stuff from people.
Yeah, I find the stuff that
But
is
you
is
make
in
your stuff.
sync with my body. That's not going to harm it. I don't know for 100%. I'm taking the preventative and the precautionary methods and avenues to, if it's not 100% off the rails, at least 90% in support of my body's function and my optimal function in the long term. Because I don't know about you, it's like everywhere I go now, it's so. I had to talk to a friend this week. Her daughter has cancer in her 20s, and the son have rheumatoid something else. And then another friend of mine, her daughter is 5 years old. She has this thing where the doctors can't figure it has to do with anemia. And all three of them said that it was the diet that they changed, because the daughter with the cancer, she is in remission, or she got healed, and the son is managing is rheumatoid. And my friend with the 5-year-old said and she has to keep her away from everybody because of the COVID. The only thing that work is the diet. So when people saying to me that you're extreme, I'm like, what is the alternative? What's your alternative? Because you see the trajectory of where you're going. It's illness, sickness, disease. You're going to lose your mobility. You're going to be on the bed. I talked to a friend today, I saw in Walmart. Her mom had 4 strokes. The first stroke, and her mom was like weary, but she never changed what she ate.
Still keep eating with
If this thing has gotten you here, it cannot be the same thing that's gonna take you out. I don't know how we're not making the
We're not making that
connection
connection.
to it. It's like it happens out of the blue. But if we think about all the things that's coming in through the inhaling and through the eating and through the pores, I mean the overload on the organs, on the liver, on the kidney, those in the intestines, and you're saying that you're not going to cleanse? What's the alternative? Because it's much like if you have a container of water and you keep pouring dirt in there, after a while, the dirt is going to, be in place of the water. It's the same thing with our body. If the liver is overloaded with toxins, how can you expect that it's not going to shut down or malfunction? Or the brain. I look at people with this constant, it's like more and more MS and more and more
dementia and the
Parkinson's, more and more dementia.
Alzheimer's.
It's not just happening out of the blue. It's something that we're doing. We cannot control so much the environment, but we can control what we put in our mouth, what we put on our skin. What is it we season with, what is it we put in our water? Because if you think about it, if you're having a glass of wine every day, What exactly are you? Is That's not food. It's an intoxicant, it's a stimulant. So what are you actually doing to the body?
Poison.
Poisoning the body over time. It's not going to happen immediately.
Mm-mm.
It's the
And
same.
that's where I think they think because it doesn't happen right then and there that they just think that it, because the body is resilient. The fact that it took that glass of wine, but I think if it happened like right then and there, once they drunk the wine, it would be different. But the fact that we've been doing this all the years, the body like works it
It
out.
adapts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
You know
think
what?
that's
Maybe
and I
if
think
we
that's what
were, we dress up the outside. Maybe if we were walking with the outside being
mm,
revealed rather
yeah.
than
Or
the
or
inside
like
being
I said
revealed outside.
earlier, the X-ray. I was like, if the instead of like, I mean, I know the technicians can see, but maybe we need to actually see inside the X-ray and the MRIs to see like the worms, the parasites. Maybe if we actually see what it's doing to the inside of our body, maybe that we would connect more.
Yeah. I think there is a subcon or an unconscious thing that this only happens to other people. It will not happen to me until it happened to, because the thing is, when I, like my mom, she had a stroke, like I've said before, and I had to like race or rocks up my mom a couple months ago, like, Mommy, you can't eat this. If you have one stroke, you're going to have. But she didn't make the con. It's like you're doing this stuff and the habits and the addictions, because that's what cleansing does. It helps with the addiction. It helps with
It retrains your
it.
taste
Yes, it
buds.
retrains it. Because I never thought I would be able to not have chocolate. I was addicted to milk chocolate, and to go into the store and not have any desire for it. I can only credit it to the lifestyle and the cleansing, because the cleansing, when it detoxifies and at a cellular level remove all that stuff from your inside, how can you still have the same desire? It removes the cravings.
And then another thing too is when you do the cleansing, it gets rid of like, well, what am I trying to say? You're getting the nutrients. So like from your food and from the clay, you're getting what the body needs. So then that desire just goes away because you're feeding
Because it's
what is
satiating.
yeah what you're asking.
You're getting the nutrition. Not only that,
The
it's
mineral,
supporting the immune.
yeah, the immune
So you're not
system.
susceptible like you were before. Like my daughter, last week she wasn't feeling well, and I could hear the mucus. She normally I don't hear that. But when you're sick, the nose is stuffed up, the throat. You can't. When she's talking, she sounds so congested. And I was saying to her, Mackenzie, the fruit is here.
To
Listen,
push it
she didn't
out.
have an appetite. The
Well,
body
that's the
shut
body
down.
shut
She
it
didn't.
down.
But the
Yeah.
body is trying to get rid of this mucus because it is so, full of toxins. Because what happened when you, the not just fat holds on to toxins, but the mucus is almost like, what should I call it that you put in houses again?
Talking
Uh,
about the I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
it holds the toxins. So now when it's overloaded with toxins, the body shuts down, it gets sick, and it wants to eliminate it. It wants to get it out of the nose. It wants to cough it up out of the chest so you can spit it out. So when you are having any type of flu symptoms and congested, and they tell you that you need to take something to suppress it,
Like mute. What is it? Mucinex. I think.
whatever the cough
Mucinex.
press, unless it's
That's what I'm
deadly
saying,
where you're
right?
coughing
And
uncontrollably.
that suppresses it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
suppresses. Or you're having some kind of diarrhea and you're gonna take something to stop the diarrhea when the
But
body
the
is saying,
body is
I need
like,
to take this poison out of my body. We do all the things in opposition, as if to say the body has no sense. It has no
it's super
intelligence
intelligent.
as what is it is doing. Its only job is homeostasis,
Balance.
to balance, self-regulatory, self-healing. It's not the food that heals you or the cleansing that heals you. It's you are doing an action to support the body to heal itself. So to our point of people would say, I'm not going to do no enema. Why you need enema? The herb tea.
Or it's
Do
the
you have to?
time.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't have time for that. But then you have time for Facebook, you have time for Instagram, you have time to watch all these TV shows. Like you have to make time for this. This is important. People are like dropping like flies. I just had a classmate that I don't even know if he's even 50 yet, that just passed away. And everybody's like, well, we'll just wait and do this and do this. And then we'll put the cleansing fifth on the list. I'm not even sure. Do we even have time? The way
We
the
have.
world,
That's what I'm saying.
where the world's
We
going, do
have
we have
time
time?
for what is important to us. We are a society or a culture that, I mean, some of us put ourselves number one on the list and we feel guilty, but number one on the list in terms of how we look on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Not number one on the list as far as well-being, quality of life, optimal functioning. That's not why we're on the top of the list. We're on the top of the list for other things that I think that this is how the world tell you that you should show up. And we have to question, which is what I'm doing now, question all of this crap that they tell you. Mm-hmm. If the body is saying I need to get rid of the mucus, and then the experts are saying take this to suppress the mucus, who is it you listen to?
Are you gonna listen to the experts, or you gonna listen to your body?
And
but we've been trained to listen to the experts.
Yeah, so now we don't even trust.
We don't trust
what's going on in here when the body is constantly talking to you. When you have a little pain, I'm so heightened now. I have a little pain. All I'm thinking, okay, I'm inflamed. Why am I inflamed? I've been eating or engaging, whether it's because stress is another thing. How can I support the body in getting rid of this pain? Because it's alerting me, Sonia, something is off balance, here. If my head is hurting, or I can't say I have any of that anymore. But if I had known better back then, or if I don't feel good, why aren't you feel? Why are you lethargic? Why do you don't have any energy? These are just alerts that the body is giving to you. But you think, okay, it's this or that. But if we sit long enough and to think about what have I been doing or not been doing, and try and but we're so disconnected from ourselves.
It's like my cousin Sean, the guy, he just said they got time for, what he say, impromptu trips to the ER.
But that's true. But that's just how the culture is. Our culture, there's a young Adama who got us on this journey. Well, kind of paved the way for us. She is, if you listen to her, she's big on an agenda for the annihilation and the degradation of us. And I look at it sometimes and I'm like saying to myself, and people would say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, or all this stuff that they say when you're anti what the mainstream narrative is. But I'm like looking at it, how can you as a government sign off on companies to produce these things, especially babies, that is contributing to their ill health, their degradation, and you think that they're not conspiring to kill you off?
I've been doing that for years.
Or put stuff in your food for you to be addicted to it. Who does that?
That's why everybody's
somebody and a government that cares about his people.
They
really
don't care. These are the same people that's beat us, raped us,
Come
and
on,
done some
man.
terrible things to us.
So
why would they change?
It's like I was listening to what's his name, this conscious guy, and he was saying that they have set up like how the types of food that goes into certain zip codes, and I'm like, somebody or a group sit down and actually do that. To what end?
That's terrible.
To what end? To get people sick so they can be on the medication, that they can drink the wine,
because
they can smoke on themselves to death. So everything is about dying and illness. So while you're dying, let me make some money off you.
Yeah, let's make the money.
We
We don't
gotta
care.
wake
We
up,
don't care
man.
if y'all die. Why? Why not?
But it's not their job because we are demanding it.
Yeah, and
They
that's what I said.
put.
But we need to be, like Adama says, we need to be smarter. We should be out thinking them.
We're not out thinking
But we're
them.
not. We're sitting there just like we sat there in the freaking restaurant. We have to wear the mask inside the restaurant. But then when they bring us the pus, the mucus, then we can take it off. And we're not even putting that. That has bothered me. My husband says I need to stop talking about that. But it just tears me apart. Does that make any sense?
Or the same people who are causing or creating stuff for the underlying issues are now saying that and I'm like saying to myself, why don't you stop produce? But how they gonna stop? Because we're demanding it. We want more of it because now they have like manipulated your hormones, manipulated your thinking, manipulated your. I never knew I could stop eat like. I used to love what you call it, the crunchy, because they have dyes in it now. And the kids do whatever. I used to love that stuff. M&Ms. I used to love M&Ms because of the nuts. But I wasn't making the connection as to this overload on my pancreas because after a while the insulin stop. It can break down
And then just the
carry the
sugar
sugar to the blood. But I was addicted to it. And because what happened is I
like
wanted to
crack.
feel good, and it made me feel good in the interim. But afterwards,
Then
I
you
felt
gonna
like crap.
crash.
So I was like slowly killing myself, slowly committing suicide on an unconscious level.
You didn't even realize you was doing it.
No, and then what happened is that now we're on it like multiplied. We're heading to the grave faster and we think it's okay.
I mean, the babies is already sick. All the
They're
children,
born
now they're
sick.
born sick. There's a guy named Morambi. He does eye readings. And he said the children now are already full of the mucus and that's what we was talking about, the psoriasis and the eczema and all that. That's why we're seeing all of that stuff. And like you said, the asthma and all that, because they're already from the womb, just from the mother's womb, they're already sick.
Because the body.
But because when they have the child, the doctor does that little APGAR test and says, oh, because they can't see none of the stuff through, because the eye, you can see everything. But they not putting that together. So they're saying the child's healthy, and then that's when they want them to come back and weigh them and do all that stuff, do like little checkups and stuff like that. And the children will have mucus and, them little boogers in their eyes, the snotty noses and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, they'll be fine, so just take this. And I'm like, that's a symptom of what's going on inside the body. Let's do something about this. But we're, like you said, we're not even putting it together. We're thinking it's going to be okay with the little medication. It's going to take it away.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Because it's the not to get to the root of why you're doing it, so you can nip the root in the bud.
And then they end up getting like, what is it? Them ear infections. They end up putting earplugs and or whatever
and take out their tonsils.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's the next. It just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, as if to say that you don't need this body part.
Right.
Why you need this body? Let's just take it.
Let's just get rid of it.
This is what we're doing now. Okay, you can survive on one. What do you have two of? Two kidneys. Two kidneys. You can survive on one. You don't need your womb. Why you need your womb? You're
take your
already.
womb out.
But all of it is designed for the function of the body. How you gonna say God this don't without even realize that you're actually doing that stuff to your body?
Right.
But like the Bible says, which also this world is run by another energy that only wants
likes death.
It's about death.
And it's the money
to steal,
behind
to
it.
kill, to destroy. And we're not getting it. And we're taking our cues from the same place, the same energy that that the agenda is to steal, to kill, and to destroy, to divide, to disunite, to make you not trust your inner God, to make you not rely on your God self. So now everything is outside of you. So you're forced to seek counsel, not to say there isn't a place for that,
Right.
but to not trust the divinity of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why God gave us choice. If we
Mm-hmm.
weren't smart, you wouldn't get choice.
Right.
But what we're doing now, we get choice, we're utilizing our choice, manipulated by an energy that only knows darkness.
Death.
How are you going to take your cues from darkness without help end up being dead? Because
And
that's all it knows.
and it's another thing too, like, not to cut you off, but I don't even really go to the hospital, but when I have, and like the nursing homes, like a lot of them people, because I guess where we're at now, you can look at that person and tell that they're sick. So I'm like, how in the hell are we gonna take cues from you? How could you tell me anything when you can just see the bow on their face? Like you see it. Like you can tell you're constipated. So I'm not going to listen to some constipated person. I'm just not.
Or their numbers are elevated. The
Yeah,
A1C
like they
out
just
of
not
their diabetes,
healthy.
high cholesterol, they're struggling with some ill health. And you are the expert that is going to tell me. That is not their fault, but they have not made the connection because you were taught, you go to school and you're taught that this is what you're supposed to use to address this thing. So all of it is probability. When all of us unique, how are you going to dump everybody in? Which means that on the basis of probability, you're going to have the higher percentage survive and the smaller percentage is collateral damage. So where are you? Are you going to be in the higher percentage that's going to survive? Or are you going to be collateral damage that you're going to be the one that's expendable? That's how science work. It's we save the larger amount and then we just get the others, they're just going to die. How about we save everybody? Because God gave us the solution. If that story is right, that you're in the garden, what was the first thing you ate? It was an apple. You never eat a piece of steak.
I don't believe that story. No way.
But I'm just saying,
I know.
it's
I shouldn't have went there.
you're in the garden, you're in Eden, which is all vegetation. It never said that you were in the pig pen or you're in the cow pen. You were in the garden. What is in the garden? Fruits and vegetation.
How did we?
We have to go back to now because I'm like questioning a lot of this information that I acquired, and I'm looking at the fruit of the tree and say, where did we mess up? I mean, the food say it is junk food, and we still eating the junk food. What you do with junk? Do you take junk home or you dispose of junk?
I don't know. Some people hold on to that junk, and that's what's in their intestine.
Yeah, but they don't understand. My thing is that because I was there. I wasn't consciously thinking when I used to drive by Burger King and I had this insatiable thing for
a burger.
I wasn't beef. It was more the chicken sandwich, and I love their fries over McDonald's fries. And I used to give the kids that to eat as food.
And then you want to know why they got snotty noses.
And I'm thinking to myself, what on earth? And I carry some amount of guilt, which I try not to, because
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard because my ignorance, because my parents' ignorance got me here. And I'm looking at my parents, both have diabetes, mom had a stroke, dad lost his eyesight, and all of that from how is it we're eating and how is it, our lifestyle. And I am going to think that if I continue along that path, that is not going to be my future.
You already know my situation. My grandmother, that whole nursing home, having to go there every day.
We gotta wake up,
we gotta get away from that. No, nobody should be putting nobody in no nursing home. Like we should be done with all that. Let's figure this out.
We have the intelligence to figure it out. It's cutting back, looking at what is it that I'm going to put in my mouth. I was so conscious about it this week. You think my whole mind never want to have the fries
Right.
and
Fries are
want to have
good.
the Sprite. What I had was lemon and water the whole time. I don't remember ever doing that.
Right.
But to know that this lifestyle has taken away those addictions and the weakness of, you know, being subjected is almost like having my body rule over my mind, and you have no idea how that feels when you can look at a piece of cake, because I was a chocolate cake addict, and that was very much there, and I didn't even have a little sliver. Normally I'll steal and be pinching, and I realize, once I open that door, it's
It's
over.
over.
I'm going to have
It's
one,
like
two, three,
Lay.
four
It's like
pie.
Lay's
And then I'll
potato
go to my
chips.
bed and I'm hot flashing. And then they tell you that this is normal. I don't hot flash no more because I'm not eating the sugar. I'm not the fake sugar. I'm not having the spices, all the things that that trigger you. And they have all of these. So no, I'll be taking the hormone stuff to manipulate the natural hormone function that God gave me and think that that is okay because the body cannot manage itself. It's out of whack. It's gonna be out of whack if we're feeding it crap and poisons. So we're saying that to say that we have to keep beating the drum of cleansing
Cleanse,
because that's
cleanse,
our
cleanse.
only recourse.
And the enemas is y'all. We can't push this enough. Just people, it's a disconnect somewhere. But the enemas is everything. It's gonna pull and break up the mucus. And earlier, remember I told you I had talked to Sage, and she was telling me, it's you cannot underestimate the years of the
Build
waste,
up.
the buildup, the sludge, the mucus, the pus. You can't underestimate it. Like she's like, it takes years and years. That's why you have to cleanse. It's a lie when they tell us that go on this 30-day cleanse and I'm not saying it doesn't.
Reset
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm not saying it doesn't help. That's a start. But cleansing every day, because the body already cleanses when you go to sleep at night. When you go to sleep, it's already getting ready to set in and do what it needs to do. So we just need to help the body. But I mean, the enema, we're going to push this enema. We're probably going to get on your nerves, but we're pushing this enema because that we don't talk about it. And it's something, and especially with men, they don't want to stick nothing up their butt.
Yeah, but when they're on the tubes and they're in the hospitals,
That's what I'm
they'll stick stuff up.
saying.
Why are you gonna
But you
wait until
and
you get
yeah, they'll
there?
be like, well, let's do a colonoscopy, or you'll let them do that. Or the women, when we get pap smears, we let them stick their fingers up in our vagina. So what's the damn difference in us doing the enema?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta stop. Like,
Because the
it's
world says
ridiculous.
that this is not what you're supposed to do. The experts say, no, the body does its cleansing. If you were eating, not being contaminated with the fake food and all these chemicals, then we could have said, you know what? Maybe the body has what it takes to do it. But the body, we're living in a different time. We're further away from the earth because we're not getting our food from land. We're buying it after days of transportation and all this stuff. I mean, I'm buying organic. I don't know what I'm buying. So my only recourse is cleansing. I go in there, the stuff said organic. For this place,
You
this
might
culture
visit,
is all
yeah.
lie. I don't
Yeah.
know what's truth
It's
no more.
full of
So
shit.
because I know that this is the energy of that world that is run by another, that's in opposition to life, I have to now be an advocate for my own health. I can't depend on anybody to do that. So we're saying, guys, if it's the herb tea, get vigilant with your herb tea. Do your research. Don't expect people to spoon feed you. That's another thing. Stop with the food spoon feeding. Nobody's gonna come in to save yourself. Nobody's gonna save you. I am here
and you
thinking about myself from a place of self-preservation. Who going to think about you?
And you just gotta be careful about who you get your information. I'm funny. Even with my product that I buy from other people. Like, I do my research and stuff first because everybody intention ain't right. Because this world is around money. So you got to be careful. And I just want y'all to know that, we're coming from a place from our heart. Like, this enema, like,
We care.
we
So
care. Yeah, yeah.
drink your
So
tea, add
drink
your
your
lemon
tea.
with your water. If you
Yes.
go out to eat, just pass on the Pepsi.
Yeah, leave
Pass
it
on the soft
alone.
drink.
Leave that
That's
poison
not food.
alone. It's not.
If you drink wine every day, start to cut it down. 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, maybe once in a while.
And the coffee. If you're drinking coffee, get that dandy blend. And,
Yeah,
and, and,
find
and it
stuff to
tastes
substitute.
it tastes good. Like, I mean, I know we've retrained our taste buds, but that dandy, well, you had it, I fixed
Yeah,
it
I
for you.
liked it.
The
And I'm not a
dandy
coffee person. I
that
don't.
dandy blend's good to me. I think it tastes better than the coffee, to be honest.
So find
Cause yeah.
substitutions, guys, and support your body in getting rid of the dependency and the addiction and the craving. All of that stuff is artificial.
Because when you don't follow nature, it's always gonna be a consequence.
Of course. There's a consequence to all choices. You can't keep smoking and expect one day that your lungs is going to function the way it function, And I empathize, and I because with my addiction with sugar, I can only imagine how hard it is for people who who smoke or who drink, and it's that's not an easy thing to do.
And we gotta stop wanting to eat just because, oh, that tastes good. That tastes good. How
Yeah.
about eating for like what is good for what your body needs?
Yeah. And the cleansing does help you with
It
that.
does retrain the
It
taste
makes you
blend.
more conscious in your choices, in your
Mm,
decision, even the movement. You gotta
mm.
move to help, because that helps with the constipation. If you have sluggish intestinal, do some kind of movement.
And
It's
I
imperative.
suffer from that.
It because it's not on your high priority.
Mm,
When you start to put yourself first, not first from being selfish, but
mm,
first from being self-preservation, where you don't it's not a good feeling. I look at
mm,
my mom was always independent. You think she likes being dependent? She drags
mm,
herself every morning to move, to exercise. She cooks with her one arm.
mm,
Had she known otherwise, nobody wants to live that way.
mm,
But something in our brain just don't make us. That could be me.
mm,
We gotta start to think like that. That can be me.
mm,
When you're looking at somebody and you see they eating that, I'm like, why wouldn't you think that if you continue along that path, that's not going to be you in another 10, 15, 20 years?
And the sisters that we around that's been on this regimen for a long time, I mean, their cells have regenerated and they look young. I mean, they move like my niece's age. Aries like 24, and they probably actually move better than her.
Yeah, because you're
Yeah,
keeping the cells
yeah,
youthful.
yeah.
If there's
So,
nothing in there and it's reparate, because your cells, there are different periods where your brain cell
regenerates.
regenerate, your liver cells regenerate. If we work with the body, of course.
So yes, it's something to it. And then just the fact that she's healed, so many people with cancer and tumors and scleroderma, lupus, MS. Like
Because it's mucus.
she's
It's
helped
poisons.
so many people. So we're just gonna be like, hey, we gotta let people know about this because when we were coming up, we didn't have this information. We didn't have nobody like we could just go on YouTube and we were still
It
trying to
takes work to
trying to
search to find it.
figure it out.
But I
So
think once that is your priority and it's on your value list of values up there, things just align. The
mm,
information just comes from, because that's what happened to us. I'm like, where was this information all along? But I was blinded to it.
mm-hmm,
It was I couldn't see it because that is not where I was resonating or vibrating. When you
mm,
start to vibrate, it's like when you start to get on a money frequency, you know what? I want to be, financially free by 20. And you
mm.
set that goal, the universe just start to work with you and people fall
It
into you
does.
and you see something here because that is where you focus. So you're actually creating your reality.
Mm-hmm.
When you get on the agenda, I want to heal myself. I want to repair what's in here. The
You'll
body
get
works
direct
with you.
download.
Yes, the body works with you. You'll be
It's
sitting down and
amazing.
something come on the TV. I was
You're like,
like,
what
it's
the?
coming all along, but you never noticed it before. I know you're
Like,
noticing
it's
it.
like your little
Or,
antennas is like,
you go
woo.
somewhere and you're like, out of the blue, you see somebody here who is along that path and they're sitting beside you and it's like, why are you never thought about it, but things just align because you are the one that is actually creating it subconsciously, unconsciously, without even realizing it. So if this is something that you want to kick, nothing is impossible. We are divine beings with an intelligence that's bar none. But if you're gonna say to you, oh, I think I can't do it, or I
that's all the
think I
universe is
whatever,
gonna give you.
yeah.
Is can't.
But guys, take your power back, man. Take your power back.
Empower
And
yourself.
align with the unpopular. Align with the
Don't follow the Joneses.
Yeah, the uncommon. If they call you whatever they call you, yes, you're fine. You're obsessive, yes. You're extreme, yes. You have to be that way because you're not going to come wipe my butt when I'm laying on the bed. You're not going to wash me up. So of course.
Just like my cousin, and this is a dude, y'all. He said enemas are the truth, and they are. Yeah. It's the best.
Just normalize it. It's not. No, you don't have to tell nobody you're doing an enema if you feel a certain way.
I am though,
but
I like talking about it
because you value yourself.
I'm like Brother Eric, clean that ass, and I mean that
should be more important
than cleaning that ass
than this. Because this is how you're gonna serve people. You can't serve people and be in the work of the Lord if you can't move.
Right.
If you're sick. I'm tired of hearing of church people sick and shut in and people praying and calling it the enemy when you're eating the slab of steak
and
after
doing
church.
It to yourself. Going to Popeyes and church's chicken.
And thinking, okay, that this is the will. This is the will of God. What will of God? The will of God is that I wish above all else that you prosper and be in good health as your soul prospereth, which is as your information up here gets better. That's how this is gonna get better. So we have to do some work
and be consistent.
And you're gonna fall off because I'm still there and I'm like, oh my God. But you know what? You know what discipline is?
I was like it
discipline today. Is remembering what is it you say you want. That's all that. If you remember, this is what I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to whatever. And you remember that, you will do the actions in support of it. You might not get it, one fell swoop, or it's, because the body takes time. Nothing in this realm is overnight. There's no magic.
It's no magic pill. And I want to live without pain.
I don't want to be dependent on.
Yeah, and I don't want nobody. And I don't want nobody wiping my ass.
God forbid that the pharmaceuticals stop produce medication.
Waking up,
it's over for those people on medicine.
I don't want to wake up.
God forbid they accidentally put something wrong in the medication. Tons of us gonna die.
Like I don't want to live like that.
We gotta value ourselves more, and I think that
and know what love is. We say we love ourselves, but we really don't.
No, we don't care.
And then we'll put these jobs before our bodies.
Yeah, the jobs and the 401k.
Like, come on, y'all. And I understand you gotta pay your bills, but
everything else and the future for fear that I'm not going to be. Yeah, but that money you're saving going to go into a caretaker looking after you.
Yeah, they're gonna be wiping your ass, brushing your little false teeth.
Quality of life, guys. We can do better. We're just too intelligent, too wise, have too much knowledge that has been downloaded in us for us to live this depraved, victimized, like crappy lives. We came here to enjoy our lives, to enjoy each other.
And
And for the
heaven is
most,
now.
and most of us are just living these lives of quiet desperation. I can speak to myself. Once I was lost, which is what the Bible talk about, which means once I was in pain, feel like crap, don't want to get up to do anything, head hurt, foot hurt, stomach hurt, pill, pill, pill. And now I don't have it no more. The only thing I changed was cleansing and diet. If it happens for us, it can happen to you. And we have this thing about focusing on weight because we want to fit in the dress.
Yeah, don't
Let's
worry about
lose the
that.
weight agenda and focus on the cleansing agenda.
And all of that'll come.
Focus on the cleaning. Just clean out the crap. People who swim a lot. I mean, I went somewhere this week and there was a swimming pool. I didn't even go in there because I didn't want no chlorine in my body. Because now I'm trying so hard to, clean out that, just detoxify and offload a lot of this stuff that my body, my organs have to manage.
My cousin, he also, that was a good point too. He said key limes with the water. I think my sister and my mama does those.
Because it's an
because
astringent.
it
cleans,
helps pull the mucus,
it
clear the
out.
mucus out.
Yeah.
Fruits are just cleansing, period, hydrating and cleansing too. So thanks, Sean to God for making that statement and about the enemas. I just like, that a man, because a lot of men is like, no, I'm not trying to do that. So it's just,
Okay.
brothers that clean their ass. That's what type of man I want. For real. A clean ass. Because you got to understand, even when you even come together like sexually, you don't want to be laying with somebody that's dirty. Get you a clean brother that's putting that tube up his ass, ladies. Or I shouldn't say ladies, but sisters. Like, let's just stop. For real. This cleansing, it's everything.
Yeah.
That enema is the truth. Like Sean the God said. So cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. So every episode we gonna be talking about cleansing more.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
y'all,
it's time for us to head out.
Yeah, beating the drum of just prioritize yourself as far as supporting the body's function, getting rid of that buildup. And if you're working so hard to get rid of it, just be mindful about not putting it back. Because when you get rid of the junk, don't go back to the junkyard, put back more junk. It's like defeat the purpose. But anyway, people, thank you so much for joining yet another episode.
Thanks, family.
And we're here.
My sister was on tonight, I think. Moms, I think she was on. Thanks, Denise, Miss Sharon, Shonda Guide, Joelle. We had a whole lot of people on tonight. Thank y'all for even making comments too. It kind of was exciting.
So this is our 11th episode, and as we get more seasoned, we're trying to bring more people to figure it out. So be patient with us.
And I think we're gonna have an interview, another testimonial coming. So stay tuned for that.
Yep. Okay, till next time.
Yes.
Be good to yourself.
Peace. Ashe.